The Barrens greeted me in shades of orange, yellow, and earthy brown. Despite the name, it is a place brimming with life. Herds of kodo, ravening packs of raptors, and elegant striped zebra roam the savanna lands of the Barrens. For an unknown amount of time I wandered these lands, the constant drone of insects in my ears, the hot Kalimdor sun beating down upon my fur. I did the work of the horde, cleaning out dens of raptors, hunting for fur or meat, fighting back the encroaching enemies of our people. But there in the Barrens, the time between work seemed to stretch long and far, the distance between places covered in great swaths of wilderness. Much of my time was spent walking and pondering my existence. Time seemed to pass slower in the Barrens, this quiet and desolate land, whose mood often seemed to match its weather. Sunny yet searing, warm and yet uncomfortable somehow. There was beauty to be had here for sure, a subtle and timeless spirit seeming to watch over this land. In my youth, I had heard stories of this place that said it was once a hotbed of social activity, filled with the mindless, vulgar chatter of the masses who once congregated here. Yet that era seemed long past when I arrived. My journey through the Barrens was a lonely one. It was often that I found myself alone with my thoughts. I began to miss the feeling of being with my own people, the feeling of being part of something, of being around family and friends, of belonging. At times I would grow despondent, feeling like I was never really a part of my own life, but only an observer. Yet I found value in that loneliness, in the isolation and absence of joy. It is what urged me to go inward, to seek something more than merely the glory of the battle, the pride of success or prestige. One day, I made a pilgrimage to the top of a hill in the northern Barrens. Here, shamans had built a medicine wheel to mark a sacred site, a place where the elements were said to be in balance. I looked down at the offerings various folks had left here. Beads, pottery, specially prepared food items, jewelry, even a child's doll. Perhaps they hoped to be blessed by their offering. Maybe they sought a healing for themselves or a loved one. Or in some cases, it was likely just a show of faith, of respect. I looked upward to see the shining skies, the drifting clouds, the eagles with outspread wings that soared triumphantly over the lands. And yes, from above the Barrens were beautiful, a glorious panorama of life, color, and character. Just like Orgrimmar, when I was down in them, sweating, fighting, and walking, I felt lost, caught up in the chaos of it all. But from above, from beyond the system that was the Barrens, I could see it for what it was. I began to wonder if this was what all things were like. A mess while you're in them, clear from the outside. I sat back and took it all in. The distant mountains, the ocean in the other direction. The fortresses of both Horde and Alliance looking small and unimportant from up here. As a cool wind soothed my overheated hide, I began to drift off. Once more I fell into a vision of the monastery high up in the mountains. This time it was more vivid. I could feel the chillness in the air, hear the wind chimes and the distant chanting of a melodic yet mysterious tongue. My memories immediately grew hazy and indistinct when I awoke. What I remembered most vividly was speaking with an old and wise master, receiving teachings on techniques foreign and yet oddly familiar to me. I woke with a snap, back in the Barrens, feeling the dry air in my nostrils, and once more looking out over the orange terrain. As I made my way across the expanse of the land, I could feel my body moving with increased agility and grace, my muscles themselves moving with the memory of training that my conscious mind had forgotten. As I walked back down and began my trek to the crossroads, I felt my life resume, the same, yet somehow different, as if something inside of me had suddenly shifted and nothing would ever be the same again.